Hello and welcome to the Unwanted Opinion special review of Disney Plus's latest Werewolf by Night. I am joined here today with my good friend Kyle.
Hello.
How you doing, Kyle?
Yeah, I would say good, but I've just watched Werewolf by Night.
Oh yes,
both
yes,
both of us
yes.
have actually just watched it.
Mhm.
Well, for me, it was about 40 minutes ago I finished it,
Mm.
so we both
And I
watched it on the
watched it
day
this
of its
morning.
release,
Yes.
and we're here to talk about it.
Yeah, so just to kind of quickly get into it, Werewolf by Night is directed by Michael Giacchino, who is iconic modern composer who's now turned director. He, of course, recently just did the Batman score Up, I think, which is what he won his Oscar for. He is a really, really famous modern composer and one of the best working today. But this is his first really kind of. He's done a couple short films before, but this is his kind of
Right.
biggest feature to date, which is this Disney Plus Marvel Studios special. One of the kind of first they've done, I
Yeah,
think.
I think the whole special banner. I think that
Mm-hmm.
Guardians Christmas special will
Mm-hmm.
be under this new
Under
special
the
banner
special
as well.
banner. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
I mean,
it kind of threw me off guard seeing this stuff. I was
uh,
like, oh, okay.
IMDb classes it as a TV movie. I don't know if that's maybe what these should be really classed
Yeah,
as.
yeah, I guess that's it. Because it's 50 minutes in length. It's not a full length feature. It's not short enough to just be. I mean, I guess modern day TV series, all episodes are like 45 minutes to an hour long.
Yeah,
So I guess it could
exactly.
be as a special. But anyway, it stars Gael Garcia Bernal as Jack, and he is this sort of, I guess, kind of mysterious figure who kind of enters this sort of. How would you describe it, Kale? This sort of.
Well, it's so the idea,
Uh-huh.
the premise that they set up is
Mhm.
that this is focusing more on the dark side of the
Yes.
Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Mhm.
where there's kind of werewolves, vampires, Midnight Suns, if you're kind of looking at for a comic reference.
Yes.
And this family, the Bloodstones,
Mhm.
were basically hunters from what I'm kind of gathering. And they've kind of invited all the pristine hunters around the world to come and basically fight for, well,
Yes.
not prove their worth to gain the Bloodstone because the patriarchy of the family has passed and they're looking for somebody to inherit the Bloodstone, which is
Yep.
this kind of powerful artifact which used for monster hunting.
Yeah.
We're not given too much on it. We get shown a
No.
wee bit about what it's about. But
It-
yeah, so he
yeah,
comes
it
in as
really-
one of these six hunters, five hunters.
Yeah.
I can't remember. And I watched it about an hour ago. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so he's kind of there, and he's like, "Oh, what might But he's when the patriarchy's wife talks, and she was like giving a like, "Oh, this hunter's killed 30."
Yes.
And it turns
Verussa
to
is the
it goes to
character's
yeah
name.
Verussa, and she turns to Jack's character, and he's like, and here you have over 100 kills. So you
Mm-hmm.
kind of build up to be that this is like he's gonna be Van Helsing in the
Yeah.
pit, so to speak. But yeah, so that's what we kind of
I mean,
are given
I
with
guess
at the start.
I guess I'll kind of lead it to. I didn't really know what to expect this special. I mean, I'd seen some snippets of it and online and stuff. I was like, okay, this looks very different. Black and white, sort of kind of leaning towards this quote unquote darker edge. And I was like, Halloween special. That's quite fun. I like the idea
Yeah.
of that. But when you get into it, this really is just I think it's like all of Marvel's issues condensed into a 50-minute special because you have a plot which centers around a MacGuffin, which then I thought
Yeah,
this was
yeah.
kind of going to be something a bit more creepier or really kind of dark, like I said, darker or like more
It was
horrific.
definitely
but it
not
became
as scary as what
no,
I think
no,
was almost
absolutely not.
advertised
It
to
became
us.
like just an action schlocky and battle royale esque thing, and I was like,
Yeah,
what
and
is
it's-
this?
it's really interesting because when we first got that trailer, I can't remember when it was released, about a month ago, 2 months ago maybe. And obviously for a long time, everybody was kind of, because Werewolf by Night got announced ages ago, like a
Last
couple of
year,
years
if I
or
remember,
a year
yeah.
ago, and then nothing out of the blue, and then everybody was like, "Wait a minute!"
Everyone
do
thought
we
was that just like were
Yeah.
they just like throwing stuff at the wall? Is that ever going to get made?
And everybody was like, "Wait, don't we have this movie, film, TV show coming out?" And then we got that first trailer, and when I saw the first trailer, I thought it was gonna be almost like a, what's that? What's that old TV show called? The Mobsters? What?
the Munsters.
Yeah, you know Rob
Yeah,
Zombie's
yeah.
remaking it. Like
Yes,
it's like
yes,
a
yes.
almost slapstick approach to classic horror, and that's honestly what I thought was gonna kind of happen with this, with that first trailer. So I was a bit like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, let's see where we go here. But what we got was really just kind of like, say, classic Marvel problems.
Yeah, I mean,
where
there's
we had
just
a
it's just
half-baked plot.
yep,
It was
generic action minus I guess the
generic
ending
action.
one, which was a bit more interesting.
Yeah,
And
they're a bit
then
more gore-ish, than
yeah,
I would
yeah,
say. Which
it's
some
kind of
people are
weird because
suggesting that's why it was black and white.
yes, that's exactly what I was getting on to. Because see, when I looked at this, right, I saw some critics who were saying, "Oh, this is kind of like an ode to the classic Universal's monster period with all the black and
Yeah.
white stuff," and I'm like, well, not really, because for one, this didn't look like they shot with the intention of black and white because they don't use shadows or light at all to any effect whatsoever, except bar one shot where there's some flashes, and I'm like, so the black and white effect didn't really add anything, and also two, it's still far too clean looking to look anything like those old films. So I guess they just threw the black and white thing on to kind of get away with more gore without pushing this to be a 15 rated thing.
Yes, because obviously
Uh-huh.
the last scene in the film
Yeah.
in this is in color,
Yeah.
which also kind of makes you think, right?
Mhm.
It was all a bit confusing, and so I want to kind of talk about a bit what the kind of the special's about, right? So we have the character. So the monster that they are hunting is Man-Thing,
Yes.
okay, and we discover maybe a wee bit. Honestly, I lost track of where I was in this, like how far we were in.
Mhm.
But then it comes around that Jack is actually a friend of Man-Thing.
Yeah.
And that he's actually there to get him out of trouble.
Mhm.
And then the other character, Elsa, who is the daughter of the ex-leader who has died, decides to help him out, where she'll get the Bloodstone and Jack can take Man-Thing and get away.
Yeah.
But now, this what really annoys me. This is one of the first things. At the start of the special, we're told a wee bit of history about the Bloodstone and how it's kind of hurts monsters.
Mhm.
And spoiler alert, for if you haven't seen the poster, by the way, Jack is a werewolf.
Yeah.
And at the point
It's called Werewolf by Night, guys.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know what else to
Oh,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
And at the point where they help Man-Thing escape, Jack goes, "Oh, I'm going to go pick up this thing that I should know doesn't like monsters."
Yeah.
And he gets hurt, and then everybody's like, "What? He's a monster?"
Yes.
Hey, hold on a second here.
Maybe
And
they
you're
shouldn't have called this thing Werewolf by Night if you'd wanted to
Yeah.
make that a surprise, especially for the
Well, no,
ending where you see the werewolf.
I mean, I think
but...
if you knew who the character was.
But no one knows who this character is outside of
I know,
hardcore comic
well,
fans.
yeah,
I
that's
didn't.
true.
Did
no,
you?
I mean,
Before
no,
this?
all I knew about Werewolf by Night was I'm pretty sure it was actually the first appearance of Moon Knight
Right.
in the comics. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I think 'cause I know a lot of people. I mean, there was a lot of rumors about this that Moon Knight was going to appear in it. Apparently, at some point, Blade was going to appear in it,
Oh, right. Okay.
and you know,
They cut
I
all
was
that.
like, I don't even know if he's going to be on the table. Apparently, it was going to be longer.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I'd heard false reports about this because I heard that Marvel thought it was bad, so they cut it down to half an hour because it was originally meant to be an hour, and it's 15
Was
minutes.
it?
So
Oh,
they've
or maybe
cut
it was the other way
10.
around. Maybe it was meant to be shorter.
Mhm. But they've added
But
more stuff.
yeah, and I mean, we get one cool werewolf scene in it.
Yeah, that's the best bit of the thing. Really.
And you know what really annoys me was that werewolf transformation scenes have come a long way
Yes.
from being excellent to being bad.
Yeah.
Weirdly, we've actually turned 180 ever since the 70s, 80s with American Werewolf
Oh,
in
'cause
London.
they spent a lot of time and effort and money on doing
But,
that
but,
effect.
but, but what I'm saying is nowadays it shouldn't be hard with
Yeah.
CGI and
I think because also this is this looks kind of cheaper as well. I don't think they put a lot of money into it.
It's very this. What annoyed me was this. Is that it's so clearly just in a set.
Yeah, it's a set. Yeah,
You know,
but it's a more convincing set than I'd say something like Thor. You know, where that was.
Yeah,
just,
well, no,
yeah.
I think no, definitely. But then you're looking at this and you're like, okay, we're on a set here.
Yeah. I didn't mind the werewolf transformation scene. I get why they cut corners, but I think it's where the way it's done. With
The whole shadows was quite cool. That was cool. Yeah, I give you that.
But even why did they have to? Why couldn't they just really double down on the dark stuff here? And like, why did they have to throw in like the cheap and shitty Marvel humor, like the name of the man thing and like all that stuff? And I was like,
his name is Ted.
And I'm just like, right.
You know, yeah,
All
that
right.
was kind of.
With
That was
the
really
ending
just
as well.
annoying. And then the ending
annoying.
where Jack and Man-Thing are just sitting chatting, you know. I really liked Man-Thing's design.
Yeah, that's cool.
I preferred it in black and white. I think when you kind of came into color, it was a wee bit more...
A bit jarring and stuff. Look, I guess...
There was more focus on the CGI when it came into the color. That was my kind of issue.
Yeah. Well, let's just kind of give our, final thoughts here. I really thought this kind of was just a really generic, unremarkable piece of just Marvel schlock. It really left me with nothing, to be fairly honest.
It's bizarre, Lewis, because I think this is really the first, in recent kind of memory of Marvel thing that is going to literally serve no purpose whatsoever to anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if this just was a really fun or creepy or just something special,
different,
like because just do a Halloween special, have fun with it. But it just wasn't fun. It was just boring and left me with just nothing interesting, no interesting characters, generic action minus some werewolf fun stuff at the end. Like whatever.
It just honestly, you barely got any time to get to understand these characters. Like, 50 minutes is way too short, but I can understand that I don't think it's a compelling enough story to make even a 6-episode series out of it.
Yeah.
And
well,
certainly
would you give it a final score?
A score?
Yeah. I know it's strange, it's just a 50-minute one-off special.
It's a 50-minute one-off special, and it's like... Honestly, like, my score, it would just be like a not watch. Like, don't watch it.
Don't watch
it. It's hard for me to give, like, an actual number because I don't really see it as a film.
Yeah.
It's
annoying because I did feel like I wasted my time with it. I'm like, I could have watched half a film by this point.
You could have, you could have watched a lot of better stuff,
or like an episode of a show I'd want to watch.
Yeah, this is like a 4 or something, but it's certainly I don't watch. Like, don't bother your time with this.
Yeah.
This is special.
I would
you
say?
say?
I'd probably give it like a 3 out of 10. Honestly.
Yeah.
I just whatever. Sorry to. I guess this is our first like unwanted opinion separate single video, and it's a negative one. But hey, oh well.
It can only go up, I'm sure. But that's.
Yes, but that will about round off our discussion for Werewolf by Now. We will see you on the next episode of Unwanted Opinion, which will be out next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.